Hey, I'm Sayuri. I'm an artist, and for the last 10 years, I've been selling my own artwork online. What started off as a few random listings on Etsy became something that resembled a business. It's not perfect, and it's definitely not passive, but it is mine. Today, I'm packing a 12 print brain set, and while I do it, I want to tell you the story of how I started making this series and how it helped me quit my job and why I almost walked away from all of it. Back in 2014, I was just trying to make something work. I was doing everything myself. The printing, the packing, the shipping, the answering emails, the creating of the listings, managing my own online store, and selling in person at art fairs. I even made my own harmonograph, which I thought was so cool. If you don't know what a harmonograph is, it is this device that is a drawing machine that makes these geometric patterns using weights and gravity. So if you don't know what it is, you can check out my old video here. And I would make these watercolor illustrations, and I would use the harmonograph to draw on top of my watercolor little paintings that I made. And I thought it was so cool, and it was really something that I felt passionately about and was super into building and making these little paintings and kind of letting the universe decide what the design was gonna look like. But honestly, it just didn't sell. And I was in my late 20s and I just needed to just make some money and just be able to quit my job. That summer, a friend who was studying neuroscience at UC San Diego asked me if I could make her an art piece using a brown rat brain. She sent me the fMRI scan of the rat brain, and I layered it with one of my watercolor illustrations, and then I posted it to Etsy. And it sold. And then it sold again and again. People were asking for more human brains, dolphin brains, bat brains, zebrafinch brains. All these people, therapists, researchers, professors, people who love the brain, animals, or both. And just like that, my brain art was born. Today, I sell these brain prints on Etsy and Amazon. These designs are a mix of my watercolor art and brain art scan references. I pick scans with interesting folds and contrast, something that's visually satisfying. I include both the common and the Latin name of each animal, and I hand sign every print. They're clean, modern, just a little bit psychedelic. My brain art has been featured on Netflix's show Babies and NPR's Hidden Brain. I've made over 30 brain art images now. And because it's a digital process, I can print on demand, which keeps things manageable for me. I also run an Etsy shop called TINYPINKSHOE where I sell my risograph prints, my sewing patterns, and other art that I've made in the past. My first child was born on the actual day that the world shut down in March of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And then I had my second baby. It was a really hard few years. Pandemic parenting, postpartum depression. I had barely any creative energy left. I wanted to quit everything so many times, but instead I just scaled way back. I kept only what I could sustain. Digital orders, print sets, repeatable systems, and honestly, I'm really proud of myself for scaling back the way that I did, because I didn't burn it all down. I adapted and I rested. And when I felt ready, I came back to art again. Slower, more intentionally, with more joy. Lately, I've been thinking a lot more about the kind of art that I want to make. Not just the art that sells or is commercially successful, but the art that I truly want to make. When I feel stuck or uninspired, I go outside. I watch the clouds, and usually the ideas start coming back. And this is a really important time for me to write down and sit with my notebook for a good amount of time. Projects like my tiny islands or clouds painting, they're not designed to go viral. They don't always sell, but they remind me why I started making in the first place. I don't want to chase algorithms. I want to create atmospheres. I want to create awe. I want to build worlds. I want to make things that make people pause, to make them breathe. So here's the truth. The brain prints, they're not really my passion anymore. I didn't start making them because I had some deep artistic connection to the brain. I started making them because, well, it sold. And as a broke artist in my 20s, that was enough. I paid my rent, I bought my groceries, it let me reinvest into my business. It let me quit the job that I hated, and it let me move to Portland, where I finally was able to start my family. And now, it still helps fund a little bit of the more experimental, weird, and meditative that I make today. The art that's not always gonna sell, that moves a little slower, but fills me up creatively. So no, I don't love my brain art the same way I used to, but I'll always be grateful for it. And I'll always be grateful for every single person who had ever bought a print from me before. If you want to support my work or grab a brain art print set for yourself, you can check the link below in the description box, or you can join my email list if you want free art downloads and updates about what I'm working on. If you're a creative person out there just trying to stay afloat, whether you're raising kids, you're facing burnout, or you're figuring out your own next steps in your creative life, I see you. Yeah, it's hard. Thanks for being here.